What's up, Met fans? Welcome back. Talkin Mets with Rob. How's everybody doing? Before I get started talking about two potential big blockbuster trades the Mets can make involving these players and these teams, don't forget, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit on that like button. If you enjoy all my content, want to see more, want to get notified when I post my videos, and when I go live, you guys know what to do. Hit on that subscribe button, everybody. All right, guys. So, two potential big blockbuster trades the New York Mets can make post-lockout involving these players and these teams. We're going to get right into it. We're going to go through the trade proposals, all the players involved, going through the players coming back to the Mets contract and 2021 stats, and we're going to get to it right now, guys. All right, guys. So the first potential big blockbuster trade the New York Mets can make involving all of these players that are involved between the New York Mets and the Minnesota Twins. We are going to get to it right now, guys. Here is trade proposal number one between the Mets and the Minnesota Twins. The Mets will be given Jeff McNeil, J.D. Davis, and Robert Dominguez for going to the Twins for Josh Donaldson and Taylor Rogers. That is the first trade proposal. The reason why we are not giving a top 5 prospect back to the Minnesota Twins is because the Mets will be taking on Josh Donaldson's contract, and we'll look at that in a little bit. And we will be getting a really good left-handed reliever in Taylor Rogers, who is also very good. And the reason why you have to give at least a top 10 prospect is because you're getting a big-time reliever along with a very powerful bat. But I'm not giving more than a top 10 prospect, no more than a top 5 prospect. So it's Jeff McNeil, J.D. Davis, and Robert Dominguez going to the Twins for Josh Donaldson and Taylor Rogers. When it comes to the two guys coming back, we're going to look at Josh Donaldson first in his contract. He is getting a lot of money over the next couple of years, but it's only 2 years as we look at right here. Josh Donaldson in 2022 will be getting $21 million in 2022, $21 million in 2023, and the good part about this is there is a club option for $16 million with an $8 million buyout. He is 36 years old going into the 2022 season, but his stats, as we'll look to in a little bit, it's still very good. So it is worth bringing that power bat and taking on that $21 million. Now, this all entails if the Mets don't sign Chris Bryant at third base. This trade can be very good for the New York Mets. Josh Donaldson is getting $21 million over the next 2 years, and at least the Mets have a club option in 2024 if Josh Donaldson declines at the age of 38 years old. I think that's a very good, appealing option for the New York Mets. And Josh Donaldson had a very decent year in 2021. He batted .247, which is not great, but let's be honest. Did anybody at third base play well enough to put up the numbers that we're looking at right here? .247 average, 26 home runs, 72 RBIs with an OPS of .827. That is pretty darn good, considering what the Mets had to deal with when it came to J.D. Davis and every other scrub player that they continued to throw out there, besides Jonathan VR. But even VR didn't have the numbers that Josh Donaldson had in 2021. The money is big, but at the end of the day, guys, you're not really giving up much. Yes, you are giving up Jeff McNeil, but once again, Jeff McNeil has been a nuisance in the clubhouse. His performance has declined dramatically from what the Mets were expecting from Jeff McNeil. We need Jeff McNeil to be a 300 hitter that hits 50 home runs and maybe 50 to 60 RBIs. We don't need him to be a power bat. We have that in the lineup. I don't think Jeff McNeil on this Mets team can provide what we need. I think he needs a change of scenery, and I think the Mets can get a nice package back for Jeff McNeil in Josh Donaldson and Taylor Rogers. So, again, Josh Donaldson, .247 average, 26 home runs, 72 RBIs with an OPS of .827. with his contract. 2022, $21 million. 2023, $20 million with the $16 million club option with an $8 million buyout. With the second guy coming in, Taylor Rogers. He has 1 year left on his deal in 2022 for $6.25 million at the age of 31 years old. He had a very good season. This is manageable for the Mets when it comes to his salary. So you are giving up that top 10 prospect in Robert Dominguez because of Taylor Rogers. And of course, you got to give something back for Josh Donaldson, even though you're taking the money of Josh Donaldson. It's a possibility that the Mets can ask the Twins to take a few $1 million off of the Josh Donaldson contract, which is an incentive of giving Jeff McNeil and J.D. Davis to the Twins. With Taylor Rogers' 2021 stats, he had 9 saves, 3.335 ERA, 59 strikeouts, and a whip of 1.14. Very good reliever, left-handed, which the Mets do need in this bullpen. And when it comes to this trade, the Mets would give J.D. Davis, Jeff McNeil, and Robert Dominguez going to the Twins for Josh Donaldson and Taylor Rogers. That is trade proposal number 1. And it's a trade proposal I think the Mets can think about, especially if the Mets do not sign Chris Bryant in the free agent market. When it comes to the second trade proposal number 2, a big blockbuster deal between the Mets and the Baltimore Orioles. This is the trade proposal that I propose to get John Means to the New York Mets. The Mets would have to give up Jeff McNeil, Ronnie Mauricio, the number 3 prospect, and JT Ginn, the number 5 prospect. It is a lot to give up, guys. I understand that. But if you can bring in John Means, a left-handed starter who is the ace of the Baltimore Orioles staff, throwing him in with Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer, that is a rotation that nobody will mess with. You would have an Cy Young Award winner in your 1-2 spot and John Means coming in the back of the 3rd spot in the rotation. Guys, that is a trade that the Mets should do. And the reason why I think it's worth giving up Mauricio and Ginn and Jeff McNeil is because of what I'm going to show you with his contract in a little bit. So that is the trade proposal. Jeff McNeil, Ronnie Mauricio, and JT Ginn, number 3 and number 5 prospect, going to the Orioles for John Means. The reason why it's worth giving up these prospects along with Jeff McNeil is this, guys. John Means' contract in 2022 is only $3.25 million, and he is arbitration eligible for 2023 and 2024. So the New York Mets would have John Means for 3 years of team control in 2022, 2023, and 2024 until he's a free agent in 2024 at the age of 32. So you're getting John Means in his prime from 29 to 31 years old, guys. I think it's a no-brainer if the Mets are willing to give Mauricio, Ginn, and Jeff McNeil in this trade for John Means. It is a lot to give up, but I think it's worth it because of the contract that John Means is currently under his rookie contract, and still arbitration eligible over the next 2 years. And given $3.25 million in 2022 is a bargain for the New York Mets. It is a lot to give up, but I do think the Mets would be willing to give up these type of prospects for John Means. When it comes to John Means and his 2021 stats, he was very good. We're not going to really look at the win-loss record. He was 6-9, but he was playing for the Baltimore Orioles with an ERA of 3.62, 134 strikeouts with a whip of 1.03. When we look at the ERA, guys, 3.62. He was in the AL East with the Red Sox, who was better than expected. The Yankees, who offense wasn't great, but they still have power bats. And the Rays, who scored a lot of runs. And the Toronto Blue Jays, who was also a juggernaut when it came to offensive power. So John Means had to deal with all that in the AL East, along with the DH. So if you bring him over to the National League, in the NL East, who doesn't have the big bats and the big-time teams that you've seen in the AL East. You know, you got the Marlins, who are good, but are not great. You got the Nationals, who are going to be very bad. You have the Phillies and the Braves, who are pretty good. But you also have a lot of left-handers in this NL East that John Means can actually take care of. So I do expect, even with the DH coming to the National League, I do think you can expect his ERA to go down around probably 3.3, 3.2. And that is behind Jacob deGrom and Max Scherzer. So once again, guys, trade proposal number 2, blockbuster number 2, between the Mets and the Orioles. The Mets would give Jeff McNeil, Ronnie Mauricio, their number 3 prospect, and JT Ginn, their number 5 prospect, going to the Baltimore Orioles for left-handed pitcher John Means. Those are the 2 proposals that I propose, big-time trades, going to the New York Mets between these 2 teams and these players that you see above. Once again, guys, if you enjoyed this video, hit on that like button. If you enjoy all my content, want to see more, want to get notified when I post my videos, and when I go live, you guys know what to do. Hit on that subscribe button, everybody. Let me know in the comments, guys, what you think of these 2 trade proposals between the Minnesota Twins and the New York Mets, and the Baltimore Orioles and the New York Mets, and the players involved in both trade proposals. Let me know in the comments what you think. Do you like them? Do you dislike them? Or do you think other players should be involved with these 2 teams? Let me know in the comments, guys. Thank you guys for all the support. And as always, Met fans, let's go